I almost lost my throne today because of you. They questioned my judgment, my loyalty, my sanity, all because your name slipped through the wrong lips at the wrong time. One of my councilmen mentioned seeing a letter on my desk with your handwriting, and suddenly the room turned cold. I saw it in their eyes, the doubt, the suspicion, the hunger for weakness. They smelled blood, and it was mine. All I could think of while they argued about politics and betrayal was you. How ridiculous it is that in a room full of power, all it takes is your name to shake an empire. Do you understand what you've done to me? I was raised to fear nothing, to wear control like armor, to let nothing reach my heart. But you slipped through that armor like a whisper. You became my weakness, my distraction, my obsession. And today, I saw the cost of that. The throne I was born to protect nearly turned its back on me, and I couldn't even regret it. Because as they spoke of duty and disgrace, I thought only of your face, how your eyes would look if you knew the chaos you've caused inside me. They called it treason, my silence, my defiance. But how do I explain that my silence wasn't guilt, it was protection? I didn't want them to speak your name like poison. I didn't want their dirty tongues to stain it. So I stood there, motionless, letting them tear at my reputation, letting them doubt me, because defending you would have destroyed you. They think they've won, that they've reminded me who I serve, but they don't know that I serve no one anymore. Not them, not the throne, only you. When I walked out of that chamber, my hands were shaking, not from fear, but from fury. The thought of losing everything doesn't terrify me, but the thought of losing you does. They could strip away my crown, my title, my power, and I would still be who I am with you. You made me realize that the throne is just a gilded cage. What matters is the fire inside me that still burns your name. And if that fire sets the palace ablaze, then so be it. Let it burn. Let the ashes carry your scent. I think they're starting to see it now. The madness in my eyes when your name is mentioned. The way I defend the silence that surrounds you. They're afraid not because I've changed, but because they know I've found something stronger than control. Love like this isn't gentle. It's destructive, unapologetic. Live, you've turned me into something dangerous, something the throne can't command. You've made me a man who doesn't kneel anymore. Not to kings, not to gods, not to fear. So yes, I almost lost my throne today, but maybe that's not the tragedy, it's the truth. I was never meant to rule from that chair of gold and deceit. I was meant to rule from this, the chaos you've created inside me. The throne can have its crown, its rules, its empty glory. I'll take your name instead, because if losing everything is the price of keeping you, then I'll lose it all again. And next time, I won't hesitate. They looked at me as if I had betrayed blood itself. The ministers, the guards, even my father's advisors, all of them watching me with the kind of disgust that only fear can create. They whispered that I'd gone soft, that I'd been distracted, that a woman had undone generations of discipline and legacy. They said your name like venom, though none of them dared to speak it outright. I saw the truth behind their words. They don't fear losing the throne. They fear that I've found something more powerful than it. You. When the council accused me, I didn't speak. I let their voices echo in that marble hall until the sound felt like knives in my skull. I stood there, silent, thinking of your voice instead, the only sound that could drown out their poison. Every accusation, every insult, it all faded when I imagined how you used to whisper my name. The contrast was cruel, their world built on control, yours on chaos, and somehow I belonged more to your chaos than to their order. That silence wasn't weakness, it was worship. You were my secret war, and I was already fighting for you even as they condemned me. My father was the last to speak. His words were colder than the stones beneath my boots. A prince who forgets his duty is not a prince at all, he said. But what he will never understand is that duty has never made my heart beat the way you do. He rules with fear, I bleed with feeling. He believes loyalty is everything, but I've learned that loyalty without love is just another form of chains. So when he warned me that one more misstep would cost me my crown, I almost laughed. Because what good is a crown to a man who's already lost himself to something far more consuming? I walked out of that chamber with my title still intact, but barely. My advisors followed behind, their eyes sharp, waiting for another mistake. They think they've won, that I'll bow my head and learn my place again, but they don't see the truth. The war hasn't ended, it's just gone quiet. I'll keep wearing their mask, smiling when they demand it, pretending to obey. But inside, I'm plotting every moment I'll steal back for you. I'll play their game until I can burn the board, because no amount of politics can erase what you've already written in my blood. Tonight, as I sit here in my chambers, the air feels heavier than ever. Your photo lies on my desk, hidden beneath letters and reports, but I can still feel its presence like a heartbeat under my skin. I told myself I'd destroy it, that it's safer if no trace of you remains here. But every time I reach for it, I stop, because destroying that photo would be like cutting out the last piece of my soul that still feels alive. They call you my downfall. They're wrong. You're the only thing that's kept me from becoming like them. Cold, empty, unfeeling. They'll never understand what this connection is. To them, it's lust. To me, it's something far darker and deeper. You've become the sin I worship, the madness I willingly drown in. I can feel you even now, though miles separate us. It's as if the walls of this cursed palace still hum with your name. I wonder if you can sense me too, if your pulse quickens when I think of you, if the night feels heavier when my thoughts reach you. Because even when the world silences me, somehow you still hear. Maybe I did almost lose my throne today. Maybe next time I really will. But if that happens, I won't mourn it. Thrones can be taken, crowns can be stolen. But what you've done to me, what you've made of me, it can never be undone. You've turned my heart into a weapon, my love into defiance. So let them threaten, let them whisper, let them prepare their punishments. I am not afraid anymore, because the truth is, I'd rather be a fallen prince with your name in his heart than a perfect king with an empty soul. After the council dispersed, I stood alone in that vast, echoing hall, the one where kings are crowned and legends are buried. The golden throne shimmered in front of me, but all I could see was your reflection in its cold metal. It felt meaningless. Every jewel, every symbol of power, worthless compared to the warmth your memory carries. The silence after the accusations was deafening. I could still feel the heat of their stares on my back, the unspoken threat that if I falter again, they'll strip me of everything. But the truth is, I've already surrendered the only thing that ever mattered, my heart. And I surrendered it to you. I walked through the corridors after, each one feeling narrower than before. The palace walls seemed to whisper, traitor, fool, lover. Every step I took sounded like a confession. The guards bowed, but I could see the judgment in their eyes. Everyone knows. The perfect prince has cracked, and the crack has your shape. The silence that follows me isn't respect anymore. It's fear. They fear what love has made me capable of. They should. Because love like this doesn't break easily. It burns, and it takes everything with it. When I reached my chambers, I locked the doors and finally allowed myself to breathe. I pressed my back against the wood and closed my eyes, and instantly you were there. The memory of your voice, the scent that still lingers in my mind, the weight of everything unsaid. I whispered your name, not out of longing this time, but out of defiance, because I've realized something. They can take my title, they can chain me to duty, but they can't erase what I feel. They can silence a prince, but not a man who's already chosen his ruin. My father believes fear keeps power in place. I used to agree with him, but fear has done nothing except show me what I'm willing to lose. I used to be proud of the way people bowed when I entered the room. Now I'd trade every ounce of that respect just to see your eyes once more. That's what terrifies him the most, that he's losing me to something he can't control, that the woman who exists beyond his reach has taken what his kingdom never could. My soul, you've become my rebellion, my quiet war against everything I was born to be. The thought of you has become my sanctuary and my punishment. Even when I try to focus on royal affairs, your presence bleeds through. I'll be listening to reports of trade routes or alliances, and suddenly your face will flash in my mind, and in that moment I forget everything else. My advisors see it. They sense that distance. They know my mind is somewhere else. They can't see the battlefield inside me, but they can feel its tremors. You've become the ghost that haunts the living prince. And I think deep down I like being haunted. I don't know how long I can keep this up. Every day feels like I'm walking a tightrope between power and destruction. Every time your name is mentioned, I have to hide the tremor in my voice. Every time someone brings up loyalty, I have to bite my tongue to stop from laughing. Because how could they understand that loyalty means nothing when compared to the way I feel for you? My crown weighs heavier now, not because of its gold, but because every gem reminds me of what I'm hiding beneath it. You. If I lose the throne one day because of you, I won't fight it. I think I'm already preparing for that moment. Quietly, without realizing it. The truth is, ruling without you feels like dying in slow motion. You've ruined me for peace, for order, for duty. I no longer crave the approval of the people or the comfort of power. I crave you, the chaos, the danger, the realness of what we are. And if that means falling from the highest place in this world, then let me fall. Because at least I'll fall knowing I was alive. I can feel the walls closing in on me. Every corner of this palace is laced with betrayal, with eyes that pretend to serve me, but secretly count my mistakes. They think I don't see, but I do. They whisper that I've changed, that I've lost the balance a prince must keep. And maybe they're right. You've tilted my world so violently that nothing stands straight anymore. I walk through these halls like a storm barely contained, knowing one more word about you might make me lose control entirely. They can take everything I own, but they'll never understand. Losing you was the only true loss I've ever feared. At night, when the corridors fall silent and even the guards stop moving, I feel your absence like a wound that never closes. I imagine you standing there, just beyond my reach, your silence cutting deeper than any blade. Sometimes I think I hear your breath when the wind slips through the windows. And I whisper to the air like a madman, calling your name just to remind myself that you were real, that I didn't dream you, that the achy inside me isn't insanity, it's memory, and memory can destroy a man faster than any war. I tried to bury your photo once. I thought maybe if I hid it, the whispers would stop, and so would this chaos inside me, but I couldn't. My hands froze. That picture, your eyes, felt like they were watching me, daring me to forget. I couldn't do it. I left it right there on my desk in plain sight. Let them talk. Let them report it to my father. Let them question my sanity. Because that photograph is the only truth I have left. Everything else is ceremony, politics, illusion. You're the only thing real enough to hurt me. There's something darkly comforting about knowing you could destroy me if you wanted to. You have that kind of power, the kind that crowns can't compete with. You could make me bend, break, beg, and I wouldn't resist. That's the part of me that terrifies my father the most. He raised me to command, to rule without mercy. But you made me kneel without asking. I would burn entire kingdoms just to see you once more. And that's what makes this love dangerous. It's not gentle. It's not noble. It's ruin disguised as devotion. Sometimes I wonder what would happen if I stopped pretending to be good. If I stopped pretending I could live without you. What if I gave in to what's already inside me? The madness, the hunger, the darkness that your name awakens every time I whisper it. I could erase the distance between us. I could silence anyone who dares to speak against you. I could take you from the world and keep you where only I can reach. Because that's what this love does. It makes me crave possession more than peace. It turns a prince into something unrecognizable. I used to think the throne defined me. Now it feels like a cage. Every meeting, every ceremony, every title they attach to my name. Just shackles made of gold. They think they've raised a ruler, but they've only trapped a man who's already gone too far. The crown is heavy, not because of duty, but because it keeps me from reaching you. It's the barrier between who I am and who I want to be. And every time I wear it, I feel like I'm betraying myself and you. So yes, I almost lost my throne today, but maybe I was meant to. Maybe the world is supposed to fall apart for us to exist, because what we are doesn't belong in a palace. It belongs in the shadows, in the fire, in the chaos that follows forbidden love. I think that's what I'm becoming now. A man who isn't afraid of losing everything, as long as he loses it for you. They expect me to stand tall tomorrow, to wear that same calm expression, to deliver orders, as if nothing has changed. But how can I, when everything inside me is on fire? Every command I give feels hollow, every smile rehearsed. I can feel the doubt in my voice now, even in the smallest gestures. They say a ruler must never show emotion, yet here I am, bleeding without a wound, chained without a prison. The throne may still hold my body, but my soul already belongs to you, and that is something no crown can command back. They think I'm reckless because of you. Maybe I am. You've stripped me of logic, of restraint, of everything that once made me theirs. I used to know the lines I couldn't cross. Now I can't even see them. My father's voice used to control me like thunder in a storm. Now it's just noise. Because when I think of you, even his power fades. You made me realize how small the world is, how fragile their laws are, how meaningless every royal promise becomes in the face of real desire. They can threaten me, curse me, but I'll still want you. And that makes me more dangerous than any king. At night, I walk through the gardens, where your name feels heavier than the silence itself. The moonlight touches the same flowers you once held, and for a moment, I imagine you there, looking at me the way you used to, without fear, without doubt. I talk to the air again, knowing no one's listening, but it doesn't matter. These walls hear me. The stones themselves remember us. I tell them things I can't tell anyone else. I tell them how you ruined my peace, how I crave your voice like air, how every breath feels like betrayal if it isn't whispered in your name. Every day I wake up with a new layer of control, a new lie to keep them fooled. But beneath that surface I'm decaying. You've turned me into a man made of longing and rage. I see your face in reflections, hear your voice in silence. Sometimes I reach out only to feel the emptiness staring back. You're not here, but you never left me either. It's as if you've woven yourself into my blood. I'm no longer sure where you end and where I begin, and that terrifies me because I'm not certain I want to find out. They talk about loyalty as if it's something pure, but they don't understand that loyalty can be twisted when love is forbidden. My loyalty is no longer to my father or my bloodline or this cursed palace. It's to the thought of you, to the shadow of your presence that keeps me breathing. I've stopped praying for forgiveness. There's no redemption in this kind of love, and I don't want any. If sin is what ties me to you, then I'll wear it proudly. I'll carve your name into my fate until even history can't erase it. Sometimes I wonder if you feel it too, the pull, the destruction, the quiet madness that comes with being bound to someone who can never be yours. Did you think of me when you close your eyes? Do you still hear the echo of my voice in the dark? I hope you do. Because even if you hate me, even if you've tried to forget me, I want to live inside your mind the way you live in mine, uninvited, unstoppable, eternal. If I ever lose this throne, let them say it was because of love. Let them say the prince fell for something mortal, something wild, something untamed. I'll accept that fate because I'd rather be remembered as the man who burned his kingdom for you than as the king who ruled without ever knowing what it meant to feel